Sorry, I'm a bit late.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ओम। Soundarya Lahari, verse number 1. Start with verse number 1. शिव शक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्त प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशल स्पन्दितुम् अपि। अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहर विरिञ्चाधिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृत पुण्यः प्रभवति। Verse 2. तनीयां सम्पां सुं तव चरण पंकेरुह भवं विरिञ्च विरिञ्चि सञ्चिन्वन् विरचयति लोकान् विकलम्। वहत्येनं शौरिः कथमपि सहस्रेण शिरसां हरः संक्षुद्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धुलन् नवीधिन्। Verse 3. अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबकमकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुरारिपुवराहस्य भवति. Verse number 4. We will learn it word by word first. Twadanyah. Twadanyah. Remember, the visarga is in the middle, so we don't pronounce the visarga, we will only aspirate the word. Twadanyah panibhyam. Twadanyah panibhyam abhayavarado. Panibhyam abhayavarado. Twadanyah panibhyam abhayavarado. Daivata ganaha. Daivata ganaha. Twadanyah panibhyam abhayavarado. Daivata ganaha. Tvameka naivasi. Tvameka naivasi. Tvameka naivasi. Prakatita. Prakatita. Tvameka naivasi. Prakatita. Varabhityabhinaya. Varabhityabhinaya. Vara abhaya. Vara abhaya एक साथ वराभित्यभिनया. त्वमेका नैवासी प्रकटित वराभित्यभिनया. त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः. त्वमेका नैवासी प्रकटित वराभित्यभिनया. भयात्रातुं दातुं. भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि. भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छा समधिकम्. च vaancha samadhikam ayatratum datum phalamapi cha vaancha samadhikam शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. So pani means hand. Pani means hand. Abhaya, the hand shows Abhaya Varada mudra. Abhaya, this is the hand mudra which shows Abhaya. Don't be afraid. The another mudra is Varada mudra. The hand shows downward. Abhaya and Varada mudra. So if you look at Devi herself in the form of Lakshmi, you will see in two hands she is holding two lotuses और दूसरे दो हाथ में अभय और वरदा मुद्रा रखी हुई है. और कुछ लोग उसको और भी ड्रामेटिक करने के लिए वरदा मुद्रा के हाथ से सोने की मुद्राएं गिर रही है वैसा भी दिखाते हैं. अभय वरदा मुद्रा. तो आचार्य बोल रहे हैं कि सारे देवता लोग अभय और वरद मुद्रा दिखाते हैं. सारे देवता लोग, all the devatas, they show abhaya and varada mudra, right? They show the abhaya and varada mudra. But you alone don't show the abhinaya. Abhinaya means see, mudra is a term which is used in Natya Shastra also. In the Bharatanatyam or in Mohiniyattam, Kuchipudi, all these classical dances, they display some mudras, right? When they want to show a lotus, they will show some hand like this, or they will show something like this to show a parrot. All those are mudras, right? So similarly, here when he is using the word mudra, abhaya, varada, these are mudras. So he uses the word abhinaya. Abhinaya means it is relating to the dance, right? So you do not show the abhinaya of abhaya varada mudra. You alone do not show. Why don't you show? Because your feet are nipuna. Nipuna means expert. Your feet alone are enough. They are enough to give refuge and fearlessness to the entire universe. Sharanye lokanam. And what will they get? Bhayat tratum. Tratum means to cross over, to protect. From what? From fear. Datum, giving. Phalamapi. And also the result, vancha samadhikam. Adhikam. Vancha, what I desire, much more than that. Possibly more than what I deserve. Not only what I have asked for, but much more than what I even deserve. The entire universe gets this by taking refuge at your feet. This is the literal meaning of this entire shloka. Tvadanyapanibhyam abhayavarado deivata ganaha tameka naivasi prakatitavarabhitya bhainaya bhayatratum datum phalamapi cha vancha samadhikam Sharanye lokanam tavahi charana veva nipunau. Beautiful shloka. We have to understand the meaning. First, let us look at the form of Lalita Tripura Sundari. So when you look at the form of Lalita Tripura Sundari, you will see Aruna Karuna Taringitakshim Dhrita Pashankusha Pushpabana Chapam Animadi Viravrita Mayukhaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. You remember this shloka? Right? Dhrita Pasha Ankusha, Chapa, Bana. Right? Chapa, Bana, she is holding. So her 4 hands. So in the, we are clearly seeing that she is given 4 hands. And in the 4 hands, she is holding Pasha, Ankusha, she is holding Chapa, which means bow, and Bana, which means her hands cannot be showing Abhaya Varada mudras. No Abhinaya of Abhaya Varada. She is holding all 4 hands are fully occupied. Right? When we go to the Lalita Sahasranam, this was in the Dhyana Shloka. In the Lalita Sahasranam itself, in the beginning itself, what do we say? We see Udyadbhanu Sahasrava Chaturbahu Samanvita Ragaswarupa Pashadhya Krodha Karankushojjvala. Right? Ragaswarupa Pashadhya. The Pasha is for tying with what? Attachment. Raga and Krodha Karankushojjvala. So the Ankusha is for the controlling of the anger. So anger and fear both are Krodha, Kama, both are controlled by the Pasha and Ankusha. Manorupekshu Kodanda, Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka, the material universe, Pancha Tanmatra, from which, from Nada sound came, from Nada space came, from space originated touch, from touch Vayu came. We have done this. Right? We have studied this when we were studying the Lalita Sahasranama. Mano Rupekshu Kodanda, and the mana, like the bow, is controlled. It is ever ready to act, but it is in control. Mano Rupekshu Kodanda Panchadanmatra Sayaka Nijaruna Prabhapura Majjat Brahmanda Mandala. Right? We saw this. So even in the Lalita Sahasranam, clearly her 4 hands are fully occupied. Why are they fully occupied? Because with her hand, she is giving us the confidence that we will be taken care of. That is the first thing. So then how will I get Abhaya? How will I get Varada? How will I get what I want? Right? How will I get the removal of fear? When does fear exist? When does fear come? Bhaya kab aata hai? We have seen this. In the Upanishads, what does it say? Only when there are 2, then there will be fear. If there is only 1 person, if you are sitting alone in a room, will you be afraid? Or will you be at least afraid of things in the room? No, because there is nobody else to be afraid. You may be afraid of things that are happening in your mind, because there are other things that are there. Correct? So, fear comes when there are 2. So she removes that fear of 2. Complete fearlessness means merger into her. She does not need to show Abhaya and Varada. By taking refuge at her feet, the entire universe, which she herself has manifested, can be taken care of by her feet. By the power of her feet. What a beautiful shloka, na? So here he very clearly says that if you look at the shloka again, you say Tadanya Panibhyam Abhaya Varado Devata Ganaha. If you look at all the other devatas, if you look at Mahalakshmi or you look at all the other devatas, they will all be standing with either Abhaya or Abhaya Varada, both. Right? For example, if you go to Balaji Tirupati, then you see him holding the Abhaya Varada Mudra. The other is called the Uruhasta. The hand is on the thigh or on the waist, or not thigh, on the Uruhasta. Even Subramanya Swami Kartikeya, when he's standing with the spear, he sometimes puts his hand on the waist or he puts his hand on the thigh. So such a hand is called Uruhasta, but the other hand is showing the Abhaya Mudra. What about Ganpati? Does Ganpati show Abhaya Mudra? No, he has Laddu in one hand. He has some mala or something in one hand. He has Pasha in one hand, Ankusha in one hand. Then why is Acharya saying that only you are not showing Abhaya Varada? What about Saraswati? Oh, Saraswati is holding Rudraksha mala in one hand, Japamala in one hand, books in another hand. 2 hands are occupied with Veena. Then she is also not showing Abhaya Varada. Then why is Acharya saying that if you look at the shloka again, you will see Tameka, you are the only one. naivasi prakatita vara bhitya abhinaya. Right? Vara and abhaya, abhinaya, you are the only one. This is poetry. Acharya has the liberty as a poet to create poetic license. So, while there are other forms of the divine which do not show Abhaya Varada, but, and for that matter, there are forms of Lalita herself which are showing Abhaya Varada. For example, if you look at Bala Tripura Sundari, in Bala form, in one hand she is holding books, in the other hand she holds a Japamala, and the other two hands, like Saraswati, she is holding those two, but the other two hands are holding Abhaya Varada Mudra, right? Wearing white clothes and sitting on a white, beautiful white lotus. So even as Bala Tripura Sundari, she is showing that. What about Shodashi? What about Bhuvaneshwari? All these forms that we see, she is holding Abhaya Varada Mudra. So here we see that Acharya has taken a lot of personal, what we call poetic license. उन्होंने कविता के रंग को और हमारे भावना को बढ़ाने के लिए उन्होंने बहुत सुंदर एक उपमा यूज करके कहा कि दूसरे देवता में कभी भी अभय वरदा नहीं होता है, एंड बाकी तुम अकेली हो जिसके पैर, your feet are more than, see, he has still not, 4 shlokas have gone. On the first shloka he was only talking of the general concept of Shiva Shaktya Yukto, right? And then from verses 2, 3, 4, he has only been talking of her feet. The ananda that comes from the feet alone is so much. Then can you imagine the ananda that will come when we have a complete experience of the entire body? So there is a story of the present Acharya of Sringeri. This is called Mahasannidhanam. Unke Param Guru. He was once, there were 2 friends. One of them was an Iyengar, the other fellow, which means he was a Vaishnavite, the other fellow was a Shaivite. And both of them were having a big quarrel. So while they were friends, they were having a big quarrel. The quarrel was what? Quarrel was saying, the Ishvara form of Brahman. We understand Brahman is formless, Brahman is attributeless, Brahman is nirguna, all that we understand. But when Brahman takes form, what is the form that he takes? So the Shaivite will say what? He has to take the form of Shiva, right? And the Vaishnavite says, no. He takes the form of Vishnu. And they started fighting foreignly. So then they went to Acharya. And I think the Acharya, the Paramacharya's name was Nrisimha Bharati, if I'm not mistaken. So they went to him. And they asked him that what is the form of Ishvara? Is it Vishnu or is it Shiva? So Nrisimha Bharati answered by saying, till now I have only seen the feet. When I see the face, then I will tell you whether the mark is like this or the mark is like this. Whether it is Tripundram or whether it is Urdhva Tripundram, Namam, as it is called in Tamil. So, Namam or Urdhva Tripundram or Tirunir or Bhasmam, the Trilekha, I will see when I see the face. Till now, I have seen the feet. And from the feet, I can't make out. And I am satisfied with the feet. Both of them stopped fighting. Why? Because it is not in their experience. They are only debating from logic, or they are debating from intellectuality. But until that experience happens, we talk about going to Kailash, we talk about, and people ask, many times I have been asked this, what do you get there? I can only say, please come and see. Please come and experience. Why do you go to Sabarimala? 36 years you have been going. Why do you have to go there every year? The form does not change. Why did you see Sholay 17 times? You saw Sholay 17 times. You don't have a problem with that. If I go to Sabarimala 36 times, you have a problem. Why? Because if you are not sensitive enough, if you have not sensitized enough to open yourself up to receive the grace, then you are not experiencing anything, which is okay. Possibly many more lives have to go through. Fortunately, in this life, with Gurudev's grace, that sensitivity has come. So you go back, you go back, you go back, you keep going back to those places because you say, yeah, let me get that, until that experience comes. Which is what Nrsimha Bharati is talking about. The debate of whether it is this way is irrelevant. The ananda, the sat, the chit, the ananda that comes from the experience of Brahman, even if it is for one kshana, it is enough to transform our life. Bhagavad Gita verse number 70 says that very clearly. Right? Antakalem api, he says, even at the point of death, even at that moment, if you have managed to transcend your body, mind, intellect construct and realize that you are the self, it's done. Unfortunately, we don't know when we are going to die, so we have to start practicing from now. So we have to start practicing now, because the date is not given. Now it is said in Loka Katha, it is said, Brahma, he comes to write, when the child is born, he takes a pen, golden pen, and he writes the death date on the forehead of the child. In Bengal, they say this, that the Prajapati comes and he writes. But when he is writing, he turns his foreheads away. So even he cannot see what he has written. So even Swayam Brahma himself does not know what is our death date. So when should we start practicing? Or should we wait for that thing to happen? How do we know what is going to happen? So that is why that experience needs to happen. And how can we get that experience? We can get that experience through the words of the Acharya. And therefore we go to Soundarya Lahari, and when he is describing that beauty, when he is describing the powers, you identify with them and you will experience that much at least. We may not experience the immensity of Brahman itself, but when that immensity of Brahman, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa says that, he was shown a photograph of an iceberg. And Sri Thakur was he was a person who could take a learning from anything that was happening around him. So he saw that photograph of the iceberg, and immediately he said, see, in this entire ocean of Brahman, because of bhakti, the ocean has taken physical form. It has solidified. It is our bhakti that will make her manifest. She's there. She's already manifested. But we will be able to identify with her. We will be able to see her form. So therefore he says that your feet are nipuna. They are more than enough. Charanye lokanam tavahi charanaveva nipunau. Nipunau. Expert. They are more than enough to give the abhaya and varada. Because other people, they have to do a lot of effort with their hands, right? Indra or Kubera or Mahalakshmi, all these deities, they have to do a lot of effort to give you abhaya and varada. That is why they have to show the abhinaya. You don't have to do any drama. No abhinaya is required. Your feet, where they stand, they are radiating abhaya and varada. And what will you get in varada? Oh, vancha samadhikam. More than what you even deserve. Forget what you have asked for. See, in the Rudram, in the end, when the Rudra Abhishekam is done, after that, yesterday, some of you might have experienced, they also chant the Chamakam. Chame, 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 chame. Right? Why do you have to chant the Chamakam? Oh, because in the material world, we require a lot of things. What do you require? See, Daksha is asking for those things which are required for doing a proper yagya. Charma chame, varma chame, sharirani chame, right? And then he says, masha ash chame, tila ash chame. So masha means dal, tila means sesame seeds. He requires all of this. All of this is required. So now we may forget what is all required, right? If you are standing in front of God, let us say God suddenly appears in front of you and he says, ask me what you want. We will forget. The best is to start, right? Karma chame, karma chame, karma chame. You start the Rudram. So all the 300 things that you are requiring to do the worship of the Lord himself are all listed by the rishis. And we just have to recite that. That is why Chamakam is recited. But here she is saying, Acharya is saying, not only those 300 things. Maybe you have asked for them. Maybe you deserve much less. But she will give you 600 things. So that is the power of Devi. So that is as far as the verse number.
One question I have.
Yes, please.
Now, I mean, both Sri Lalita Tripura Sundari as well as Soundarya Lahari and also now Sri Raja Rajeshwari Stotram, everywhere we are means learning through appreciating her form, like understanding the form.
Correct.
Means starting from the feet and, you know, moving upwards, or even starting from the top and moving downwards, whichever way it is. One thing I was thinking is that will it also lead to an attachment to that form? Because the more I keep chanting and matlab, it's so beautiful that, you know, somewhere I feel very drawn to it in the form of an attachment. And if so, if that is happening, how should I detach myself and attach? I don't know how to.
So
Means
firstly, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa says that somebody asked him, why do you have to, when you are looking at the form of Bhavatarini in Dakshineshwar, you are looking at the form of Bhavatarini and tears are flowing from your eyes. Why are you crying? Why are you so emotionally attached to this form? So he answered by saying, some of you are attached to drink, some of you are attached to women, some of you are attached to money, some of you are attached to your career. I am attached to this. What is your problem? If you are thinking of it in terms of an attachment, fine, I am also attached, but I am attached to that while you are attached to that. So let it be, number one. Number two, yes, it is an attachment. So when the divine came in the form of Bhagavan Buddha, he very clearly says that the source of all suffering is desire. Now this creates a problem. So Ananda asks, is not desire, Ananda was his disciple, right? So Ananda asks, is not the desire for moksha or desire for nirvana, in the Buddhist theory they use the word nirvana. So is the desire for nirvana also not a desire? Buddha answers that in a sermon, but Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa answers it in a much better way. He says, when you have a kata, when you have a thorn in your foot, you take another thorn, you remove the first thorn and you throw both away. But till that thorn has not fulfilled its purpose, you need to have that thorn in your hand. So there is nothing wrong about it. In Sri Vidya, what we say is, when you start the worship of Devi, you have to worship her with a form, because our mental capacity to imagine something that our senses cannot perceive is very limited. For example, if I ask you to imagine the distance from your house to Delhi, you can't do that. And I am asking you to imagine what is the entire cosmos. So not possible. Therefore, we condense all that entire immensity in one of the forms that immensity has taken, called Lalita Tripura Sundari. And that is called the Sthula form. Then there is a medium type of form, which is another, it is still a form, in the form of the yantra. When it is in the form of the yantra, then you cannot identify, there are no eyes, there are no legs, there are nothing, right? So there are only some geometric shapes. Now you cannot therefore physically fall into love, but now you can mentally fall into love with that, because you can imagine, oh, this is the Bhupura, this is the 16 petal, this is the 10 petal, this is the Antardashara, this is the Bahirdashara, this is the Trikona, this is the Bindu, etc., etc. And then therefore I can see Kameshwara and Kameshwari are sitting on the Bindu. So that attachment can happen. But now you have moved away from a physical form to some geometric shape. And then to the third level, where you are then into the mantra, which is the Sukshma form of Devi. She is mantra swarupini, right? We have seen already. We have seen that her lower, from her feet to her waist, is the first line, right? Bhagakuta. Then Madhyakuta is from her waist to her neck. And from here to the head is the the Shakti Kuta. Right? So all the three kutas, we have seen that her form itself is made of mantra. So ka ye ila rin. Now, if I give you those words, ka ye ila, what do they mean? They have no meaning. Since they apparently do not have any meaning, therefore for you, now even there is no geometric shape, nor is there a nama rupa attachment. This is a progression. In Sri Vidya, the progression is towards Bindu. Bindu is formless. Bindu is all pervading. Right? In mathematics, what do you say? Where is a point? A point is everywhere. Because a point only has position. A point has no dimension. Bindu is nothing but a point. So the entire yantra itself is the Bindu. Because it is made up of all multiple Bindus. So when we reach that stage and we start identifying with that, with the mantra, then the mantra becomes ajapa, which means you do not have to sit in one place to do japa of the mantra. Automatically, the mantra keeps on chanting. Right? I don't remember the name of the devotee. He was a school teacher. And he used to work with, he used to press, he used to give malish to Shirdi Baba. And he used to sleep in the same, in Dwarkamai. And the other chap, the guy who was the priest of the Malsapati temple, I keep forgetting names now. I have to reread the Satcharit. So this guy who was the priest of the temple of over there. His name was Malsapati. He was the temple priest. He was one day going inside and he was seeing this man is completely sleeping. In his deep sleep, he was chanting Sai, Sai, Sai. Right? That is a state of where the mantra has identified itself into you. That is called ajapa japa. Ajapa japa helps the mind to become concentrated only in one direction. What happens next? The mantra also dies. And you are at the mantra has, because the mana itself has died. Where is the mantra? It is in the mind. It is in the manas. Mananatrayati iti mantraha. So it is in the manas. Since it is in the manas has itself died. Now there is no manas. If the manas has died, what happens? The buddhi, manas, in the sharira construct, you have no longer identification. You have achieved what has to be achieved. So that is the progression. So if you are deeply aware of her presence, if you are deeply in love with her presence, if you are deeply imagining her presence, and you know that it is in my mind, but yes, this is what I want to imagine, then you are possibly a little better off than those people who are sitting and imagining, oh, what will my boss do tomorrow morning? What gali will he give me? See, that is also imagination. We don't know whether he's going to give gali, he's not going to give gali, whatever. What can I do to make him happy? What, rather than that, would I not rather ask that question, what can I do to make myself happy permanently? Instead of asking, what can I do to make the other person happy? Because if I am happy permanently, people around me will automatically become happy. You must have noticed, right? There are some people around whom you're all the time feeling energetic, you're all the time feeling at peace, you're all the time feeling very charged up. Why is that happening? Because they are radiating that. Right? Okay, now let us move to the Rajarajeshwari Stotram. So Rajarajeshwari Stotram, today we are to do verse number 6. Please open verse number 6. Amba Srishta Vinasha Palana Kari, Amba Srishti Vinasha Palana Kari, Arya Vimshobhita, Arya Visamshobhita, sorry. Amba Srishti Vinasha Palana Kari, Arya Visamshobhita, Gayatri Pranavaksharamritarasa, Gayatri Pranavaksharamritarasa, Purnanusandhikrita. Purnanusandhikrita. Gayatri pranavaksharamritarasah. Purnanusandhikrita. Amba srishti vinasha palanakari. Arya visamshobhita. Gayatri pranavaksharamrita rasa. Purnanusandhikrita. Omkari vinata sutachit vinas. Omkari vinata sutarchita pada. Uddanda bhaityapaha. Omkari vinata sutarchita pada. Uddanda daityapaha. Chidrupi paradevata bhagavati Sri Rajarajeshwari Amba Srishti Vinasha Palanakari Arya Visamshobhita Gayatri Pranavaksharamritarasa Purnanusandhikrita Omkari Vinata Sutarchita Pada Uddanda Daityapaha Chidrupi Paradevata Bhagavati Sri Rajarajeshwari Amba Srishti Vinasha Palanakari. So Srishti Vinasha Palana, which means Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. She is the Trinity. She is the one who causes all three to act. Without her power, she cannot. We have seen that in Lalita Tripura Sundari, in Lalita Sahasranamam, that she sits on Panchapretasina, right? The 5 actions of Brahman, Srishti, Sthiti, Vinasha, Laya, Tirodhana, and Anugraha. All 5 are done by her alone. How are they done? Through the 5 pretas who are sitting and holding up her asan. Why are they called preta? Preta means dead body. Preta means ghost. Why are they ghosts? Because without her power, they cannot act. So they are called pretas. Who are the pretas? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Sadashiva, and Ishana. These 5, they are sitting and holding up her throne. Meaning they are carrying out the 5 activities of Brahman through her power. Amba Srishti Vinasha Palanakari. Arya. Arya means noble. She who is the most noble. Visamshobhita. Vishesha Rupena Samshobhita. Decorated, beautified. She is ornamented. Gayatri Pranavaksharamrita Rasa. Gayatri is the mother of the Vedas, they say. Right? Because that contains the entire Vedic learning. So it is believed, or so it is said. Of that Gayatri, what is the essence? Omkara. Of that essence of Omkara, what does she do? Gayatri Pranavatakshara Amrita Rasa Purnanu Sandhikrita. Purnanu. At the anu means the molecule or atom. At the atomic level of ours, sandhi, to join. So she creates that entire vibration of Omkar in our entire body. Another way of looking at it is that her body itself, she is created out of that Omkara. She is Omkara herself. That is the another meaning. Then next line, Omkari. Therefore, she says, you are Omkari herself. You are Omkar herself is you. Vinata Sutta. Vinata, who is Vinata? Vinata, who is Vinata? Anybody? Yes, Sita ji.
Hari Om Guruji. Sorry, first time I'm joining class today. Today it so happened my class is cancelled.
I realized. Yes.
Vinata is the mother of Garuda.
Correct. So Garuda is called Vainateya.
Vainateya.
Right? He is called Vainateya. So who does Garuda worship? Vishnu. Vinata Sutta, Vainateya, Garuda, Archita Pada, which means you are identical to Vishnu. Because Garuda has worshipped you. Garuda worships you. You are identical to Vishnu. When are you identical to Vishnu? When you are doing Uddanda Daityapaha. Uddanda means terrible or very destructive. Uddanda. Daitya, apahan, to do killing off. So when you are killing all the Daityas, you are actually taking the form of Vishnu. Because what is Vishnu's job? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he says very clearly, vinashaya cha dushkritam. That is the job of Vishnu. So if Vishnu has to take that form, so whenever you are killing Mahishasur, whenever you are killing Raktabija, whenever you are killing Shumbha, Nishumba, Maidhu, Kaitab, whenever all these demons are being destroyed, you are none other than Vishnu. In the form of protecting this entire universe, Vinata worships you. Chidrupi Paradevata Bhagavati Sri Rajarajeshwari. Okay? Chaliye. So we are, yes, Sitaji.
So, Rajarajeshwari, I wanted to know if that is the form of Lalita Parameshwari or Devi in general, because, well, let me come from a different point. So, in our Karnataka music, Muthuswami Dikshidhar has composed a lot of kritis on Devi, and in which he has made one kriti where it talks about she's seated on the throne, so she's the empress at that point, and I think this is after all the vadas of Madhu Kaitaba and Shumba Nishumba, everything at the end of the. So yeah, so that was my question.
So there is a dialogue that happens. It is in Devi Bhagavatam. So Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, and they all come and they say. So Brahma is asking, Vishnu has Sahasranamam. So I don't have any Sahasranamam. Why? So Devi is only smiling. She doesn't answer. Shiva in his pride says that Vyasa has written 2 Sahasranamams for me in Mahabharata. Right? So Devi then says, okay, so you have 1,000 names. He has 2,000 names. Do you know that I have 1 million names? Because every form that you see, every name that you see, every rupa that you see is nothing but me alone. So when you say tree, you are calling me by name. When you say leaf, you are still calling me by name. When you say branch, twig, flower, petal, sepal, fruit, seed, anything that you say, anything that has nama or rupa is me. And all the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they put a finger on the lips and they run away. So from that perspective, Rajarajeshwari is a title, right? It is not a form, or at least in the known Puranas, Rajarajeshwari has not been given as a specific form. Bhuvaneshwari has been given as a specific form in the Dasa Mahavidyas, for example. Right, Bhairavi, for example, has been given as a specific form. Chinnamasta has been given as a specific form. Kali, Tara, Bagla, all of these have been given specific forms. But as a specific form, Rajarajeshwari has not been given a specific form. So Rajarajeshwari, from an experiential point of view, I would say that whenever you take any form and you put her on the throne of this entire universe, she is Rajarajeshwari. And whether you call her Ekam Sat, Bahuda Vipra Bhajanti is what the Rigveda says, right? So the truth is only one. Vipras, people who know, they give multiple names to it. And also the Upanishad says, Purnamadah Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So what is it saying? If you take my infinity and you take out a part of infinity and you put it on the throne, it is still infinity. So Rajarajeshwari is a title. Now, you give that title when you are in your mind's image, you can take Kali and put her on that image and you call her Raja Rajeshwari and you give her all these Raja Rajeshwari stotrams epithets. So, because if you see the stotram also, it is only giving attributes, right? Unlike, for example, in Lalita Sahasranamam, where it very clearly says Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha Chaturbahu Samandita Raga, so on and so forth, right? So it very clearly it is indicating a certain form. Then it is giving Arunakar, the form is Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha. It gives a very clear image of what the color is, what the form is, what is the shape of the nose, right? So the nose has been formed like the champaka the champaka flower. The eyebrows are like Cupid's doorway, etc., etc. All these beautiful description of a form. Whereas here we are not getting a description of a form. We are getting attributes. So because all the attributes are applicable to any of her forms. So your Ishta, whoever she is, you put her on the throne and you do Raja Rajeshwari Stotram. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.